Picture the fall of a great empire. Once glorious cities fading into ruins, armies retreating in defeat, maps redrawn overnight. The East collapses, whether it was the Byzantine Empire, the Ottomans, or the Soviet Union. The West, in response, declares victory, celebrates triumph. But here's the uncomfortable question. Did the West truly win? Or is victory just an illusion, and collapse a contagion that eventually consumes both sides? From the dawn of civilization, the world seems to have staged an endless competition between East and West. Ancient Greece stood against Persia. Crusaders marched from Europe toward the Levant. The Ottoman Turks nearly stormed into Vienna. Centuries later, the US and its allies stared down the Soviet Union in the Cold War. The narrative often feels like chess. One side advances, the other counterstrikes. But history repeatedly shows the fall of one doesn't guarantee lasting triumph for the other. Collapse never means complete disappearance. It's a mistake to imagine collapse as final erasure. Civilizations crumble politically, but their cultures live on, often enriching the victor. When Rome's western half fell in 476 AD, its eastern half, Byzantium, lasted another 1,000 years. Rome did not really die. It simply relocated and evolved. When Constantinople fell to the Ottomans in 1453, the West grieved. Yet, this tragedy sparked the Renaissance by pushing Greek scholars and their manuscripts into Europe. So, whose victory was it? The Ottomans' conquest was real, but the West's later rise was built on the knowledge preserved by the East. The Cold War, victory, myth. Many celebrate America's triumph in the Cold War. In 1991, the Soviet Union collapsed under its internal contradictions, and the West proclaimed absolute victory. But history tells a more complicated story. America enjoyed a unipolar moment, but the absence of a rival encouraged overreach. Costly wars in Afghanistan and Iraq drained resources and credibility. Meanwhile, the economic vacuum of the 1990s allowed new players to rise, China above all. Today, a resurgent Russia challenges NATO, while populism and polarization undermine Western unity from within. The collapse of the Soviet East was not the West's eternal win. It was the start of a new cycle. The hidden curse of victory. Paradoxically, when one side collapses, the so-called winner often inherits more burdens than blessings. After Rome's Western collapse, Germanic tribes won territory. Did they thrive? Hardly. They inherited chaos, famine, and political instability. After 1991, the US seemed invincible. But without the discipline of rivalry, it spun into internal divisions, financial crises, and endless interventions. Victory without balance becomes a slow poison. Rethinking. What winning means? Let's pause. What does winning even mean? If it means domination on the battlefield, then yes, the West has sometimes won. But if victory means shaping global culture, values, and the future, then the East often resurfaces as an invisible victor. Examples. Eastern philosophies, yoga, Buddhism, meditation, dominate Western wellness industries. Japan and South Korea revolutionized global technology and pop culture. China dominates the economic future, from AI to green tech. The East, even when politically weakened, seeps into the bloodstream of the West. This makes the very idea of winning far more complex. The modern chessboard, China, Russia, and the future today, we cannot speak of collapse without looking at the fresh East-West chessboard. China, the most powerful challenger since the Soviet Union, but with deeper integration into the global economy. Russia, militarily weakened yet capable of reshaping geopolitics, as in Ukraine. The West, still powerful but facing internal fragmentation, economic inequality, political extremism, declining trust in institutions. If the East collapses again, will the West really win? Or will it inherit instability, mass migrations, economic crises, and global insecurity? History suggests the second scenario is more likely. Collapse as a shared human drama. Ultimately, collapse should not be read as an East versus West scoreboard. It's a reminder of human fragility. Every empire, whether Roman, Ottoman, Soviet, or American, carries within it the seeds of decay, overexpansion, economic inequality, cultural arrogance, internal corruption. Collapse in one region often destabilizes the entire world because no civilization truly collapses in isolation. Global systems are interconnected. The final reflection: who really wins? So, does the West truly win when the East collapses? The answer, whispered by history, is unsettling. No one wins forever. The winner of today becomes the weakened empire of tomorrow. The knowledge, culture, and philosophy of the defeated often outlast military victories. Collapse is never the end. It's a reshuffling of humanity's deck, a painful reset that sets the stage for the next rise. Perhaps the only real win lies in learning from collapse, not celebrating it. History is not a game board with East and West playing for eternal checkmate. Every collapse births renewal. Every victory carries seeds of decay. When the East collapses, the West may rejoice, but true wisdom lies in realizing that civilizations are not opponents. They are chapters in one shared book of humanity. And in that book, collapse never writes the final word.